Hi, this is Marcos with Probate and Trust Realty Group, and today we have a special guest on the podcast show. His name is Dusty Lloyd, and he's with the Suburban Group, and they specialize in fiduciary loans. And the big question is, what is that?
Well, I was listening to your last podcast you had with Narcis, and he was talking about when somebody needs a loan and it's either for like a workout or a buyout or to solve some title problem to get a trustee loan. Fiduciary loan allows a trustee of a trust or an administrator, personal representative for an estate to get a loan, non-recourse for the estate. And it helps solve problems to get from A to B, which may be getting through a probate case, which may take 18 months, 2 years, 5 years if everybody's mad at each other.
Yeah.
And they need liquidity now. Like, we'll solve that problem and give them a loan. And it's better than an advance, which is like the first thing that people think about is how do I get $20,000? Well, that works if you're getting an advance. But if you need to buy out somebody for $250,000 on $1 million house or $500,000 on $1 million house, like you can't get an advance for that. So that's where we do it. We do a loan on the house to help get liquidity.
Right. Okay. And in order to do that, do the folks that are, contacting you to get a loan like this, do they have to qualify like a regular mortgage, or how does it work?
Not at all. We don't get your social security number. We don't do any of that stuff. It's
What?
just you're the administrator of the trust, or administrator of the estate. You can sign off. You can sign the paperwork that way. If you're the trustee for the trust, you can sign the paperwork as a representative of the estate, and we can do a loan for that.
Wow. So you don't run their credit, you don't check their financial history. As long as the property has enough equity, then you guys will go ahead and lend on that to help them out.
Because the estate has value and the property has enough value, we're really lending on that.
Right. Okay. And in order to do this, they have to be going through like a probate case, or like they have to be inheriting the property through a like trust administration, or
So the way it works is you somebody passes away, you either have a trust and it goes through that process of letting everybody know what's going on, and then you can transfer property. But sometimes that somebody's mad and they want to go to court, that trust gets thrown into probate court. That may take 2 or 3 years, and then you need liquidity, so we can do that. The other way is if it goes into probate, there's no trust. Somebody gets what are called letters of administration. They're set up as administrator with authority to do loans, to sell property. Once they have those letters, we can do a loan.
for the estate. And what are the benefits of doing this type of loan opposed to them trying to get like a regular mortgage to buy out their family?
Well, it's a good question. Who does a regular mortgage on a property that's in probate? Nobody does it.
Nobody.
And the reason is, like, I have a day job working in a traditional mortgage space. We can't do loans to irrevocable trust. We can't do loans to an estate. It has to be to an individual with recourse, all that stuff. So this solves that problem.
Wow. Okay. Good for you guys. Because a lot of people that are going through a probate or sometimes even an inheritance property, they have their regular life. They have their own mortgage, their own job, their family, and then someone passes away, and now they got this probate case that just lands on their lap, right? And sometimes there's still a mortgage on these properties, right? It could be a reverse mortgage, where the elderly person got the reverse mortgage to live, and that thing's just eating up equity. And then not only that, but when they pass away, I mean, because you guys do reverse mortgages.
It's about 30 or 40% of our business is paying off a reverse mortgage. And the
Right.
math for this is pretty simple. You got 6 months to pay off a reverse mortgage after somebody passes away. Probate in California, Narcissus said 18 to 24 months in Orange County, and that's just court time, 2 years plus in LA County. So we need a bridge from today to the end of probate, and we can solve that problem.
Wow, that's great. That's great, because most people think they just have to sell the home, and sometimes they want to stay in the home. So how do you do that while it's in probate? You use one of these loans, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. And then the other question that comes up a lot is, I just inherited this home, and my my uncle or my dad was a hoarder, and it's a mess. They haven't done any repairs to the home in years.
You see a lot of those.
I see a lot of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of, a lot of people say, oh, well, you guys sell a lot of real estate. Yeah, we do, but it's not selling Sunset. We're selling a lot of homes.
You're selling Hoarder and Hemet.
Yeah, Hoarder and Hemet.
Yeah.
I mean, you name it. We do L.A. County to San Diego to San Bernardino County, and we run across different things. And the number one goal is to help these folks sell the home at market value.
Yeah.
That's our goal. That's why we created our business, because we saw a lot of people that were investors that take advantage of these people.
Yeah.
And we said, hey, look, I mean, what if we can help them bring the home up to par so they could finance it? That's our number one goal. And we established our company under probate and trust called Refresh Construction. And we do exactly that. We refresh the homes for them. And a lot of times they don't have the money to do paint, carpet, 15, 25, 50 grand, whatever it takes to get these homes.
Taking out 5 tons worth of somebody's baggage, of somebody's history that the kids just don't understand, can't deal with. Mm-hmm. Maybe it makes them cry at night that they've got this burden. And if you can take that out and then give it a refresh, like that's a life-changing thing, right?
Yeah. Well, no, absolutely. And the big thing is sometimes they don't have the extra money. So what we do is we'll go ahead and do the refresh for them, and we cover that cost, and then we get paid at close of escrow.
Do you ever see anything that's bigger than paint and carpet?
Oh yeah, well that's where I'm thinking about you now, is that because sometimes, we got a probate scenario in LA County right now where it's been red tagged by the city.
Yeah.
So it's not like we can go in there and do paint and carpet and get this up and ready. So this gentleman here might need your services.
We had one in San Jose. It's right fresh because the guy still hasn't done the work, but he was red tagged because he had a deck that was improperly built, and the what was holding it up was no good, and the termites were eating into the house. So it's a lot of structural stuff, and you wouldn't want to take that on as your own liability for a job. Like we would do a loan against the property and give you that case would probably be about $200,000 to do all that work, and your crew can do all that stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely. So you guys,
you're a licensed general contractor.
Yeah, general license contractor, B license. That's the one we have. So, that's amazing because it solves a lot of problems for the estate. Even for us on the real estate side, when you're selling the home, it's going to have home inspections, and then you also do loans for regular loans through New American Funding. So when you get an appraisal done, it needs to pass that appraisal. It needs to finance. And
you look around the front and the eaves are all falling apart because there's wood rot. You've got broken windows because you just didn't have the money to take care of it. And if somebody's nightmare becomes your solution once you fix it up and sell it, right?
Right, absolutely. No, and I think your guys' solution to bringing in the money that they don't have to apply for a loan or anything like that, use their credit or nothing. I think that's wonderful because that's what the people need, and that's why we do the stuff we do, but we can only do, paint, carpet, stuff like that, but now we have a resource to help us with that. So anything else you want to add to it?
Not really. We can talk about that example we were going into in Mission Viejo. That's probably an interesting one where they want to stay in the house and they're getting told they got to sell it. And that's not really in their interest. But they got to step up and figure out how to do that. That was an interesting quandary. I'm just kind of swirling around in my brain how to think about that. But she didn't have the money to service that debt. That was a tough one.
Right. Yeah. No, and then not only that, so you can help them service the debt, and then you can also help them repair the home so they can live in it as well, right?
Yep.
And then once the probate is over, then they could refinance.
Then get a traditional
loan.
Which I talk to all the clients, and I'm like, "What's your plan once probate's through?" And they're like, "Well, I'd love to get right now 6.5%, 30-year fixed loan, and who knows, it may be cheaper in the future, and we can get them into that. And since my day job is doing that other business, happy to help them talk about that future event."
Got it. And how long have you guys been in business doing this? I know you guys got a lot of experience.
So the Suburban Group, that's the company
Yeah.
that does these fiduciary loans. Rick Harmon started it, I believe, in the late 70s, early 80s. And so he's got about 40 years doing this. And I'm been working with him for about 2 or 3 years, helping him upgrade the business to be using the latest software so we can really scale it up and improve our processes and do it better. So it's a lot of experience, and he's really one of the gurus of the business.
Wow, good for you guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's what a fiduciary lender does. And so we're going to go ahead and end it already.
Sounds good.
Yes,
Yeah.
that sounds good. All right. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Dusty. We appreciate your time, and it's always good to have you here. So we look forward to seeing you next time. All right.
Sounds great.
Thanks a lot.